Today we're going to talk about the continued dysfunction in the House as we're now more than 3 weeks without a speaker, and the Republicans' brilliant new plan to finally bring the conference together. And I interview Congressman Jamie Raskin about his response to Republican claims that this is all the Democrats' fault, his prediction as to how all of this drama will end, and his reaction to some more smoking gun evidence against Joe Biden that just came out. I'm Brian Tyler Cohen, and you're watching No Lie. We're back to square one in the House after 3 votes where Jim Jordan not only failed to get the votes necessary to become Speaker, but actually went backwards on all 3 ballots. And so now we've got a new flood of apparently self-hating Republicans coming forward to hold the job that is so horrible Mike Rowe wouldn't even touch it. But here's a fun new twist, and this is according to Politico. We've got a unity pledge. That's right, unity pledges are back. So according to Politico, Republicans are now passing around a promise to, quote, support the speaker designate duly elected by the House Republican Conference, regardless of who that candidate is, when their election proceeds to the House floor. Further, I plan to vote for the speaker designate on the House floor for as long as they remain speaker designate. Here's the thing. These pledges are so funny because they're so clearly the last grasps of some dwindling faction of quasi-moderate Republicans who think that the extremists, who they've emboldened these last few years by capitulating at every turn, would ever actually abide by a unity pledge. This unity pledge is some toothless effort that's really just meant to make those moderates feel better. But let's be honest, deep down they know that if the House Freedom Caucus doesn't get what it wants, that there's no chance they'll just lay down their arms. Like I almost feel bad for these moderates who think that the same far-right extremist lunatics in their conference who emboldened and supported an insurrection against our own government think that some little piece of paper is going to be what it takes to get them to give up their crusade for power. Here's why I think this is doomed. Matt Gaetz and the other House Freedom Caucus members who ousted McCarthy know that everything is on the line right now. They can't have made their party endure this humiliation for more than 3 weeks now and still get nothing out of it. Like, they're pot committed at this point. So they have to get one of their fellow extremists in there, otherwise this whole thing was for nothing. And guess what? Because the margins are so slim, they have that power. If all 8 of them, or even just a few of them, withhold their votes, no one is getting elected. So the moderates can pass around all the unity pledges they want, but at the end of the day, you know, and I know, and even all of those Republicans know that a strongly worded letter is little more than kindling, fire starter for those extremists in the House Republican Conference. And so while I don't know how this ends, this might be a good moment for some introspection from those moderate Republicans in the House who kept allowing the extremists to chip away at their power, and who allowed them spots on the Rules Committee to have a majority, and who allowed them the one-member motion to vacate, and who refused to speak out while these people devoured their party, because now it's finally too late. The extremists have now fully consumed the GOP, and given how much power they have, they're never going to relinquish it. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not going to suddenly get Matt Gaetz to support some Kevin McCarthy clone because, A, the whole point of the House Freedom Conference is that they don't compromise and they don't capitulate because they are hostage takers at heart, and B, the dysfunction doesn't even hurt them. Remember, these people, at a fundamental level, do not believe in government. They want it to fail because then they can point to that failure as evidence that government doesn't work and that we should eliminate the DOJ and the FBI and the IRS and the EPA and the Department of Education. Like, in other words, these people will gladly break it and then point to the thing that they just broke as evidence that it can't work. And of course, what they conveniently leave out is that the only reason it can't work is because they won't let it. And obviously, the flip side of that is that when you have people in charge who do believe in government, it actually can work to help people. When the Democrats had basically the exact same majority that the Republicans currently have, they passed the American Rescue Plan and the Inflation Reduction Act, the PACT Act, the CHIPS Act, the Infrastructure Law, the Gun Safety Law, reauthorized the Violence Against Women Act, codified marriage equality into federal law. Again, all with the same size majority that Republicans can't currently manage to elect a speaker with. So no, it's not that government is inherently dysfunctional or that it can't work. It's that government only works when you elect people who want it to. The Republicans are not those people, and they're making that abundantly clear right now. So they can pass around unity pledges, but it's clear that their conference is being held together by gum and paper clips at this point. And hopefully the country sees this and recognizes that when you hire unqualified people, this is what it looks like. Here's a preview of my interview with Jamie Raskin. More and more Republicans are now recognizing how bad this looks for them in the House and trying to pin the blame on Democrats for their inability to elect a speaker of their own party, saying that all the Democrats joined with just a tiny little fraction of Republicans, and so because of that, Democrats should actually shoulder the blame here. Can I have your response to that?
Well, first of all, Matt Gaetz and his group of, I don't know, 8 or 9 who managed to overthrow Kevin McCarthy did it under a rule that Kevin McCarthy promoted that we all opposed. He was the one who advanced the rule that one member at any point could move to vacate the chair. So he's hoist on his own petard. I mean, he's a victim of his own terrible rulemaking. And, if you live by extreme MAGA rules, you die by extreme MAGA rules. And that's why he was overthrown. I mean, we have been consistent. We have voted, I think, now it's 18 times, maybe 19 times for Hakeem Jeffries for Speaker. We're Democrats. That's who we want. We're not voting for Kevin McCarthy or Jim Jordan or any of them. I mean, it may be that there is a pro-constitutionalist Republican we could support if we decided to do that in our caucus. I mean, if it came down to it, we would probably support Liz Cheney because even though we disagree with her politics so much, we find her to be a champion of, constitutional patriotism.
Yeah, well, I think the fact that she's a champion for constitutional patriotism is the exact reason why she wouldn't be a suitable choice for Republicans. But, Jim Jordan has lost multiple rounds for Speaker and yet continued to plow ahead as if somehow that was a mandate for him to serve. So can you speak on the irony of Republicans writ large embracing election denialism only to now get stuck with the humiliation of having to deal with an election denier in their own conference?
And he's in denial about the repeated election results on the House floor, too. I mean, he is following the cult master himself, Donald Trump, in simply refusing to take no for an answer. And it's as if his ambitions for power and control trump everything else that's going on. It's more important to them than aid to our besieged democratic allies in Ukraine and Israel. It's more important than getting humanitarian assistance to the civilians in Gaza. It's more important than keeping the government of the United States going. And so, we're telling them, come over and meet us in the middle for a bipartisan path forward. There are a lot of things we can work out, but it's not going to be by putting an insurrectionist in the speaker's chair. Someone whose overriding legislative agenda today is to ban abortion across the country.
What does it say that when the Republican conference was forced to vote in public, Jim Jordan finished at the end of this whole charade with 194 votes, but when the subsequent private vote took place out of view of the bloodthirsty, rabid base, Jordan only garnered 86 votes, less than half. What did you take from that?
Well, I think it confirmed the applause-o-meter that we were registering on the House floor. Like when Hakeem Jeffries was nominated, there was enthusiastic, lusty applause from the Democrats, really cheering and feeling very good about his leadership. And even after Jordan was nominated the first time, it was just completely lukewarm, tepid applause. So you got to believe that there were some people who were voting yes in public because they didn't want to face the wrath and the retaliation and the reprisals of Fox News and the death threats and so on, but were opposing him in private.
To watch the full interview with Jamie Raskin, click the thumbnail right here on the screen or check out the interviews playlist on my YouTube channel. To listen to the audio version of this episode, click that link on the screen. And finally, to see more of my content, the link to subscribe is on the screen as well.